Hello, friends. Welcome to another edition of Vinyl Ventures. That's my mellow intro.
Your Jim Nance intro?
Yeah, my Jim Nance. I love to change it up.
I love it. Yeah, because you don't have to scream at the beginning every time. You know, bring it down.
Bring it down.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about 5 albums that have one killer and the rest filler.
And there are a million examples of this.
Yes.
in my collection, in your collection, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all it takes as a star, as a pop star, as a rock star. All it takes is one song that really connects with people. And, you know, maybe you can't ride the rest of your career out, but, you know, so many people have made a career off of one song.
Yeah.
And so we thought we'd grab 5 of them and talk about 5 notable albums that...
Yeah, these are well-known albums.
That basically only have one song.
Yes.
And, you know, I've always thought that the 80s were the decade that had the most one-hit wonders. But we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. What's our first one that we want to talk about?
First on the list, Motley Crue, Theater of Pain.
This is one of my favorite Motley Crue covers, but just because of the way it looks. The comedy, the tragedy, the tear on the mask. And then, of course, you have the guys on the back dressed like your sister did in the 80s.
So what's the killer on this album?
The killer on this is actually a cover of Brownsville Station's "Smoking in the Boys' Room." And it was a huge hit. Well, I mean, there's another hit on this one, but that song is the definitive song from this one. When people talk about Theater of Pain, they talk about Smoking in the Boys' Room. Yeah. And it's great. And you know, a lot of the songs on here aren't awesome, but especially not up to the level that the previous 2 albums were. But that's the killer on this. And I read all the time people talking about, you know, shit talking this album. And you know, it's one of my least played records from them, for sure.
That's a good start.
Thanks. What do you say?
Well, this one, Iron Butterfly, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. And In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida takes up the whole second side of the record.
Yep.
And that's basically the song that everybody knows Iron Butterfly for.
They were a huge band in the 60s. They were kind of a trailblazing band because it sort of heavy metal that you didn't hear music like that at the time. And there's this song. This is a good example of a band who has kind of ridden out their career on one song. Of course, the song's like, 17 minutes long?
It takes up the whole side.
But In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, there was another band around the same time called Blue Cheer that they kind of sounded like. When you listen to this now, it kind of sounds like Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah.
The singer sounds much different, but this song, I still enjoy listening to the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if I do hear it on the radio, which I don't hear it that often anymore, I'll listen to the whole thing, no matter where I come in. You know?
That's good.
It's a good one. And they were just kind of almost like a more popular version of like trippy garage rock type band.
Yeah, they were playing around with that psych thing a little bit. They were just kind of all over. They were like they weren't a jam band, but they kind of were. They were like a jam metal band.
They kind of felt like a jam band.
Yeah.
And, you know, jam bands usually have long songs. In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida is a good example of one of those. All right.
All right.
Number 3.
Number 3.
The number doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. It kind of matters, but it doesn't. Number 3.
People are going to recognize this one.
The Cars, Panorama.
This was a joke between me and Wheels for years because I always told him that, you know, I loved the song Touch and Go on Panorama. And when we first started like going and collecting together. And so anytime I would see Panorama at a record store or a record show, I'd say, Touch and Go. If you haven't heard the song Touch and Go, it is strange. Because it starts out like a new wavy synth rock song, and then it sort of feels like a shuffle or kind of in the reggae realm.
Which,
right?
yeah, they were kind of reggae. The reggae influence was big in the new wave world at the time, especially with the Police taking off.
Yeah.
And
everybody had to do just a little bit of reggae.
They're like, let's try this. And this was their kind of experimental album.
Right. I mean, the first album packed with hits. Then it was Candy O, right?
Candy O, yeah.
Which has got a couple hits, but not nearly as many as the first record does.
Yeah.
And then Panorama comes out, and there's really not a hit on this.
No. It's Touch and Go. That was it. And this, I was really into the Cars. This was such a blind spot. I didn't even have this until we got back collecting
because I kept telling you to get it.
I didn't. It just wasn't something that I wanted because there was only one song.
Yeah. It's worth the price of admission. Touch and Go, fantastic. And the guitar solo in this, Elliot Easton, oh, so good. Okay, so next. The Who, Face Dances. And I just listened to this last week. Mm-hmm. And really, there's one good song. You bet.
Yep. That kicks off.
Yeah.
Side one, first song.
Yeah. I mean, The Who, are almost as old as the Beatles, and they're one of those bands that literally like almost went all the way around to 360 degrees with types of music they play. And in the 80s or the late 70s and early 80s, it's almost like they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right. Punk had just blown up. You had new wave, all of that stuff happening with a band that's been around for what, like 15, 16 years at that time.
Oh yeah.
But You Bet. I love that song.
I do too.
It's probably my top. We'll have to do a Who top 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
And the cover's kind of strange.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it doesn't feel like
a Who album.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like, hey, this is going to be a rockin' album.
Right.
It's like something you would expect from Genesis or somebody.
Yeah, something that is not a maximum R&B Who type song. So, what is the last one we want to talk about?
I think this is the best example.
I do too.
Don McLean, American Pie.
Now, again, talking about a song that has like 7 verses.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those songs. It's not the greatest song in the world, but it just became part of the rock and roll lexicon.
Right. And the subject of it is the day the music died, when the Big Bopper, Ritchie Valens, and of course Buddy Holly died in the plane crash. And I think a lot of people, even when I was a kid and I was such a big Buddy Holly fan, I knew that he died early. Like, I think he was only 24. But I didn't know the circumstances surrounding it.
Yeah.
And Don McLean writes this song about that tragedy, and it is one of the biggest one-hit wonders in music history.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've ever listened to the whole album. Have you?
I probably did when I first got it, just to hear the whole thing. But I mean, it was one of those albums because I knew a guy who was really into that song.
Yeah.
And we'd have house parties. He'd play it nonstop.
Yeah.
And
that's a weird song to play at a house party.
Well, and his friends, and they'd all sing along.
Yeah.
It was like, one of those late in the evening, hey, let's put on American Pie. Yeah.
Yeah. After about 15 beers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don McLean's still out there. He still tours. He still plays. It is a strange song to become a hit, just because I think there was an edited version that's shorter than the actual full version. But just such a strange hit.
Yes.
And people recognize it, and people know what it is. Know what it's about.
It's still used. There was maybe 10 years ago, there was a video of Grand Blanc, somewhere in Michigan, and they did the whole town. People were singing the song and acting out the parts.
Yeah.
It was like a one-take shot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's always fun. It's always fun to just talk about one-hit wonders, and there's so many in every decade of music that we have. I mean, we could talk about one hit. This could be a one-hit wonder show.
Yeah.
Well, Don McLean, American Pie. It's the one that really sticks out in my head. If somebody were to ask me a song that a guy is known for, that's definitely way up there. We want you guys to communicate with us on our socials. Tell us what your favorite one-hit wonders or one killer,
the
all
rest
filler albums are, and what do we want them to do when they go there in addition to that?
See that thumb?
Yes.
Like it.
Yes.
Hit that thumb.
Yep.
Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed or you know someone who hasn't, please do.
It's easy to do. We want you to comment. We want you to share. And basically, we want you to enjoy the music that we all share together. Get into that record collection, thumb through it, find things you haven't listened to before, and share those with us too. For Wheels, I'm Jay, and we'll see you all the next time around.